Welcome back to Rise and Grind. It is Thursday. It is time to welcome in our favorite racers, DeAngelo Williams and Gary Barnidge. Their race might be over on The Amazing Race. They finished in 4th place. We are very proud of them. We have so much to talk to you guys about, and I'm just going to open it up to you about your comments last night. I know you want to address them, so go off, DeAngelo.
Okay, so
first let's tell DeAngelo what he said, though. DeAngelo, you gotta tell us what. Do you want me to tell everybody what you said, or do you want to say it?
Just tell everybody what I said.
Okay, well,
Meghan, I want to hear how you come on.
Well, you said at the end of it all, he asked you guys, like, did you enjoy your time here? Gary said yes, because he got to go to several countries. DeAngelo, however, said no, I didn't. Like, I could have paid for this myself. I didn't have to travel around the world for this. Like, I did not. I would never do it again.
Never. And I still stand by those comments.
It's a soft no. It's a soft no.
No. It's hard as hell. I'm just being honest. So this is why I had a horrible time. So first of all, let's go back to how I even got on the show. Mm-hmm. Gary brought it up when we were in South Africa. He was like, hey, man, we were on a safari. And he was like, hey, man, would you ever do a show like this? It's called Amazing Race. You know, we go out and we have fun. We get to see countries, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, I'm not opposed to that. And then, you know, you heard the story. A few weeks later, we were on The Amazing Race. Well, we're in Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm like, okay, we get there and they're playing the steel drums. And you saw me dancing, right? Well, they stopped me there after, like, hey, man, we got to get on to the next leg. So imagine being in Paris and seeing the Eiffel Tower from your hotel room, because you can't go to the Eiffel Tower. Even when they release you to go, you can't see the Eiffel Tower. Germany, we was at the Berlin Wall. I didn't get a chance to see the Berlin Wall because I was running around looking for a damn clue box. So I never got an opportunity. We were at Angkor Wat in Cambodia and didn't get an opportunity to see it. All these countries that we went to, you didn't have an opportunity to see what the countries had to offer because you're competing in a challenge. Well, after you finish those challenges, you're confined to your hotel room until you're off to the next race. So whether that's 17 hours, whether it's 26 hours, whether it's 34 hours, you're confined in that hotel room. Not the hotel, meaning you can come out of your room. You're confined to that room. I had a horrible time. I said I could have paid for this myself and saw everything I wanted to see. There was no, I didn't go on The Amazing Race for it to change my life in the essence of the money. I went on The Amazing Race because of the competitive aspect of it. And getting done the way that we had got done, you damn right I was pissed. I'm still pissed to this day.
Gary, how are you? Because for those who did not watch, you guys got out, and it was really that last, activity where you guys had to listen to the music and figure out and put them in order from where you experienced it in the race. And the 3 other teams decided to come together, which for those who are watching, we knew that might be happening. We know that you guys didn't know about their 3-team alliance. Y'all thought the original alliance had been broken up, but you guys see them whispering, telling them secrets, and then they get the answer, tell each other, and they leave you guys high and dry. Do you still feel the same sentiments about how upset that, you guys kind of like all played out at the end?
Yeah, a little bit, but the biggest thing that people don't know is after the first leg, we actually had an alliance with the Beard Bros. It was never caught on film, but we had talked to them after the first leg, and we had both agreed we were going to help each other get to the finals. So the whole time everything's going on, we knew we had an agreement with the Beard Bros before anybody else had an alliance. So when they had mentioned everything had happened, and then I had mentioned the comment, "Oh, we kept our word. We guess other people don't," was in reference to that alliance that we had because they went against what they said they were going to do. So we were true to our word as athletes. We're not going to go back on our word. So we thought they were the same. So I think that was the biggest issue for us. And I think that's what really frustrated D as well, because that was a big thing we did not think was going to happen. Because another thing they edited out was during that part, actually, the Beard Bros came up to us and said, "Hey, if you get the answer, we'll give it to you. If we get it and you get it, you give it to us." They edited that out, but that
now they know why I was pissed. Now you know why I was pissed.
So that was not shown. So they were willing to help us, but the other two teams weren't because of our alliance that we had agreed to before. So knowing that and then it all twisting was a whole different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't show all that.
All right, who
Yeah, they didn't show all that.
Take those earrings off. Who am I fighting? I'm ready. Let's go.
I've never been so angry at like six strangers.
It goes even deeper than that. So this is why it was so interesting because so before that final leg, we was in the hotel room and Gary was like, "Hey, bro, the Beard Bros gave us their word." I was like, "No, damn them, bro. I don't trust them because I've been seeing all the sneaky stuff." And Gary was like, "Bro, you just paranoid. Trust me. I would not leave you astray." So for like 15 minutes, we got in kind of like this heated debate and him talking me into like, "Hey, just trust me." And I'm like, "Okay, Gary, I'm trusting you." So when it broke down the way it broke down, I was so pissed because I was like, I knew I was right, Gary. I knew I was right. But I didn't have a leg to stand on because I screwed him at the steel drums and I screwed us in pairs. So it was Gary's race because he knew what was going on and I didn't.
It was so frustrating to watch as like people who have become friends with you, to see what they were doing, to watch it play out the way it was. We're screaming at our TVs. I'm like, I've never watched The Amazing Race. I'm like, alliances aren't fair. You should not be allowed to have alliances at this part. Do you agree with that? Like, now that you've been through it, do you think there should be alliances, especially that late in the race?
Well, when you're a part of alliance, then it's cool. But when you see the alliance work against you, you're like, this cheating. But no, they did everything within the race, and that's what I have to say. It was nobody's fault but ours in terms of us being gullible. We should have just ran our race and just left it there and not put our trust in other people. We should have just put our trust in ourselves and just did that. But it was interesting to see, and this is the problem that I have with yesterday's episode. I have a hard time separating the race from the friendships that we have now because of this and this reason only. The lengths in which they went through to keep us from not knowing, it bothers the hell out of me. I didn't see that during the race.
Yeah.
But like seeing that length, like us coming into the airport after a leg and them like, oh, there they go right there. And like I was like, yo, they really didn't like us. They really truly didn't like us. I don't know if it was the game or if it was us as people, but it's hard for me to separate those two.
Okay, so obviously for DeAngelo, it still hits. I can tell.
Oh, 100%. I'm pissed. I'm just thinking about it.
I can tell. Now, for Gary, for someone who did trust the Beard Bros, now to see that they kind of stabbed you in the back, as you mentioned, we didn't know all of that happened. So now, how is your relationship with them? Because you did trust them, and that probably stung. It hits. You feel it.
So it did at the time. It did at the time, but for now, it's 2 years ago. They were doing what they do to try to get to the finals and win $1 million. I know how to separate that, and I'm not going to let it affect me as a person later in life. I just can't. I know we're rehashing it 2 years later, but like if we would have been talking about it, maybe if it had aired 6 months after we did it, then my feelings might be different. But it's 2 years later. I've had time to talk. We've talked it through, everything and stuff. So I'm good. I'm complete with it. But the one thing I was going to say was when you talked about the alliance and working together, I think the last challenge we had usually is not done in that with the 4 teams. It's usually done in the final episode, so you can't work together. So I think the difference was that. So I do not agree that they had it where you can give them the answer on that going to the finals, but they worked their alliance. I give them credit. They worked it the whole season. And they masterminded all without everybody knowing. So I'll give them credit for it. They did what they set out to achieve.
I'm over here like a scorned ex. I don't give a damn how many years it takes. I'm pissed. And reliving this over like on live TV makes it even worse. Because I'm just like I remember like it was yesterday. Gary talking me off that ledge like, bro, just trust it. Just trust it. And I'm like, bro, we don't even know these people, bro. Like I know you. And he was like, dude, and and because I care for what Gary believes and like Gary can say something, and we had this conversation the other day. Gary can say something like, hey man, let's go over here. I won't even question it because I know for a fact that Gary has my best interest at heart and has his best interest at heart. So the fact that they use Gary's best interest to trigger me pisses me off even more. And Gary's just over there like, yeah, it's just a game. we're just friends. And I'm like, I don't know if that's just you or if that's white people or how you was raised, but I'm pissed.
I mean, even just like looking at the boyfriend's reaction when he told them that you were the team that was eliminated, I was like, I want to punch them through this TV right now. Like, it was so frustrating.
They called them best friends.
I'm gonna tell you what did it for me. Okay, so I told Gary, I was like, I'm not gonna be triggered. It's not gonna bother me. But this is what pushed me over the top and like brought all those feelings back. When they were at the finish line, all three together, jumping around like, we did it, we made it. I was like, this is not a Disney World ride. What the hell are you talking about? You made it. Like, what do you mean? Only one team's gonna be happy at the end of this thing, but y'all are like like, what? Screw y'all.
I know. Okay, so
I'm heated. I gotta step.
I know you are. I know you are. So, hey, I know that you guys were stabbed in the back by the Beard Bros, and you guys didn't know a lot of things, and they lied to you a little bit. But besides that, and not trusting them, that last challenge, let's talk about it, because it looked hard. It seemed hard. I didn't travel to all those countries. I couldn't tell you guys the flags of all the countries. What was it that stumped you the most? Was it remembering the songs or figuring out what flags fit with what country? Because there was one moment, there was like two moments, y'all were only one off, right? And we're like, you knew y'all didn't know, but I was like, what was it? Gary, I'll start with you, because I was like, okay, you know what? Gary's probably going to get this one. He might be, I know you're creative into art. I said, maybe he's into music. I don't know.
The steel drums were in his head forever.
Yeah.
Well, so the biggest thing, and I even told D during it, is like, I never one time thought France was a choice, because I was only at the roadblock for less than 5 minutes. So I never really heard music. I was in and out so quick, so I never heard music there. And D didn't get to go in, so he's not hearing it. So
and what's crazy is, Gary, I don't mean to cut you off. I picked up the France, and Gary was like, "It's not France. Put that back." So we'd have never got it.
Yeah, because I never heard music in France because I was there so quick. So that was the hardest part for us, and we knew two of the songs for sure. We didn't know the third. We thought we knew, but we didn't know for sure. And I think because the songs did not sound the same when they were playing it on the guitar and stuff versus what it was. So we definitely knew two for sure, but we didn't even think to go, hey, we'll just try every every combination you can together. We didn't think about that, but that's because we only had two. There were so many more we would have had to have done, and in the right order would have been a whole other thing.
Yeah, so it wasn't a clue for us. It was the fact that he didn't hear anything in France, because when we were sitting there and I was listening, I was like, okay, that's Bogota, Colombia. I remember that. I remember the Trinidad and Tobago. I'll never forget that, because Gary was tuneless. I was like, okay, I got that. We got the Bogota, Colombia, the circus one. I was like, we got that one. We guessed on the third one, but the fourth one we'd have never got, because Gary, it was a roadblock in which only Gary heard it, because I had to sit outside the art, so I'd have never got it even guessing, because every time I picked up France, Gary was like, bro, it's not France.
We're not pointing fingers at each other. We're not pointing fingers at each other. We're just
no. We're not pointing fingers. Okay. I'm just saying, like, that's how off we were. Yeah, so had anybody worked with us, we would have had 1 and 3. Like I said it last night on social media. Everybody was like, no, we're not going to work with you. Not going to work with you. We were out there for what, 3-4 hours, Gary? Yep. And had somebody work with us, we had 1 and 3, and they had 2 and 4. We'd have had it done in 15 minutes. But nobody wanted to work with.
But you wanted an alliance.
It would have helped in this situation. Yeah. I will say what I love about the two of you, even there, like talking about it in retrospect, you guys have such a good relationship. And someone even texted me last night. They were like, are they really friends, or did they just get paired together for the show? I was like, no, like, they're legit friends. They have a podcast. Yeah. How did this relationship both, I guess, how did the show test your relationship, but also like strengthen it in a way that you didn't expect?
It didn't do anything for us. I'm gonna tell you. Did you not see how it was yesterday when, like, before that, everybody was talking about, like, it's life changing. I want to be a role model for my kids, and then we come on and we was like, shit, we just here because we want to race. Like, we just missed the competitive aspect. Like, I after hearing them, I was like, Gary, everybody's just so sentimental, and we just out here just racing.
Y'all just there to have some fun.
Just trying to win. Yeah. Win a game.
You miss football exactly so much, you just want to be competitive.
But I told Gary, I said, I learned something about you that I didn't learn about you had we not went on this race. And believe it or not, I know Gary's hard nose versus his soft nose now. Like, I didn't know, like, when Gary says no, like, you don't know to what extent that no means. But now in certain situations, I know like, yeah, he ain't gonna go for that. Like for sure, I know. Versus like, I'm gonna see if I can get it past him. So I just don't even try. But other than that, our relationship is still the same. Like I didn't. They asked us that question, like, hey man, you know, what can you take back from this experience? Oh, not doing it ever again. That's what I'm taking back.
Well, so we talked last night. I got a soft no. If it was a charity season, he would do it. If it was for our charities, he might. Ooh. So I got a soft no. Mm-hmm. So, but there's a possibility. But the only thing I really learned different about him that I did not know going in was I knew a little bit, but not to that extent. Was I have the ability to reel him in no matter how he's feeling. Like I can just change his attitude and get him mad at me, and then he's over it because he's not going to stay mad at me. So so I know how to do all that stuff and calm him down. I'm one of the few that can do that, so he knows that. And I truly learned that I can really do that with almost any situation.
Can you teach
us? I can say this. Yeah, I can say this though. I cannot make this lie up. This is absolute truth. On the race, Gary kept me out of so many fights. Not only did he keep me out of fights, this is where I got so mad at Gary one time because he redirects my attention. And I'm like, I can't stay mad at him because, you know, he's such an awesome guy and, you know, the good guy persona that he has. But this is what bothered me. At one point, I was so mad. I told him, I said, Gary, just let me take these charges, bro. I'm not going to stay in jail long. Just let me do this, bro. Let me do this. Like, friend. I promise you. I said, I've looked up what the charges are in this country, bro. It's like a slap on the wrist. I'll be out in like 2 or 3 days. No money paid. He was like, no, we're racing. We're racing. Then our race is over if you go to jail.
That's a good friend.
So
that's a good friend.
I'm gonna call him out a little bit, just a little bit. And this is when he got mad at me. This is a part of the reason why he got mad at me. Yeah. So at the very end, as we're going in the Philippines, we're heading to the mat or whatever. We're walking up.
I hated him for this.
And I literally looked at him, and I knew how he was. I knew he was upset. I knew he was frustrated. So I didn't know what he was going to say. So my first words were, D, you better not embarrass me. That's exactly what I told him. And then he went and embarrassed me. So I called him out afterward, and he got so mad at me.
I was so mad. He was like, so before we get to the mat, he was like, hey, bro. He was like, I know you pissed off. Don't embarrass me when we get to the mat. And like, I was like, I can't. He said to me, so now I'm lightweight mad at Gary. So we get to the mat. We say everything that we say, right? And we get in the car, and like everything's like quiet. I'm pissed off, and then out of nowhere, Gary goes, you remember when I told you not to embarrass me? Well, you did.
So then he was really mad and upset with me for a little bit, but he calmed down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now
I laughed at him, but I was still pissed off at him. I was like, dude, even in this time, you want to crack these jokes? You're not funny.
He is. You guys are funny. Look, I'm super sad that this is over because I don't know if I will continue to watch Amazing Race. You guys made it for me. I'm happy you guys introduced it to me in my life. My grandmother and my mother are huge fans. We are all super upset for you guys last night. And we just enjoyed you guys being a part of the Rise and Grind family. It's been so much fun. Now, do you guys know who won, or are you guys watching because you guys don't know?
No.
We know, but we can't say anything.
Yeah, of course.
We're not
so you guys know.
But I am gonna say this though. We didn't watch the race. We don't know how the race transpires.
Okay.
But I told Gary this, and I've told a lot of people this, and this may be me being bitter. I don't know. This just maybe me on the outside looking in, and y'all may agree with me. But these last 3 teams, there's nothing entertaining about them. There's nothing entertaining about these last 3 teams. So what the hell are we watching for?
He's embarrassing me again. He's embarrassing me again.
I don't think you know this, DeAngelo. Ooh, your shots were fired for those last 3 teams.
Oh, 100%.
I saw someone say, DeAngelo.
I'm telling you, I am salty. I'm admitting that. 2 years later, I am still pissed.
They're playing you out. Stop it.
So I was going to say, I saw someone say that your heel turn was one of the most entertaining parts of the Amazing Race ever. So you guys as a team certainly helped boost ratings on the entertainment factor alone.
Yes. Gary,
Thanks.
I think, Gary, this is our last time talking to you. Now, I want you to know this, though. You're always a part of the Rise and Grind family. If you ever want to come on the show.
Hell no, he ain't a part of the Rise and Grind family. No, he Louisville. He went to Louisville.
But you just said that y'all are family, so he's his family.
We are.
Your family is our family, too. That's how family and friends
but
work.
you know how it is. Like, when you have family, you don't let them talk to certain other family members. This is one of those situations. Like, you can't talk to Jessica and Meghan and CJ. They mine. Like,
Look
you
at
know
his
what I'm saying? Like,
Christmas
I'm
sweater.
here.
He fits right in.
Right.
He came dressed
I
for
don't
the
care how
occasion.
he fit. We ain't looking for that piece of the puzzle. That ain't it. This ain't
He's a
it.
jealous.
We ain't
Gary,
going-
we got
He's
you.
a jealous friend.
I know he is.
I
Gary
am a
just hit
jealous
us up.
friend, 100%.
You just hit us up. If you ever want to come back on the show,
Hey,
we would
I
love
look
to have
up.
you.
1 minute, Gary's eating fries with a fork, and I'm like, damn it, Meghan.
We're going to be besties real soon. Gary, I'm going to call you. Teach me how to do your ways with DeAngelo. Work your magic about, getting him. Please teach us. We need that on our show.
We love you guys.
you.
We're so proud of you. Seriously. Thank you guys for taking the time out of
you,
your
guys.
day. We look forward to everyone hearing your thoughts when they listen. I think you make it very clear your feelings. See you guys.
Thank you.
Oh man,
I love them.
good. That was so good. Oh, he went there.
Oh, he's
he
spicy.
petty. He went there like nothing. When they call you like, it's kind of like the it happened on the Kardashians one episode where she was like, you're the not interesting to look at for Kourtney Kardashian. That's what Kim told Kourtney. You saying that you're not interesting and you're not entertaining. That's kind of like you don't have to curse with it.
That's
but
tough.
that's cursing. Like you're not entertaining at all.
I would love for that. They won't do it, but to do an IG live during next week's episode. I would watch them watching the
Maybe
Amazing
we should
Race.
go on GCM. Maybe we should just do a GCM live while
And
we're
invite
watching Amazing
them?
Race. We should just come here,
I'm
watch
so
it all
down.
together, show him. Let's talk about it. That might be a thing, or
That would
maybe we
actually
should
be
just bring
really
him back
funny.
next week for next year, like a bonus special.
Who's going to produce?
You have to watch it too. CJ.
It's up. That's way past CJ's bedtime.
I know.
Of 4:30.
That's a thought. We might have to do a bonus little special for next week with them
That'd be fun.
after we get the one. I mean, we have to watch too. Which I'm actually kind of. Who do you think won? I think
The Beard
Beard
Bros.
If they're that,
They were athletes too. That's the thing. That especially when we didn't even talk about them running in the high heels last night, but watching the Beard Bros run in the high heels, they were volleyball players. And then
Yeah.
DeAngelo and Gary, they had that athleticism component to it, the competitive component to
see,
it.
the difference is, and we didn't say this with Gary and DeAngelo, I don't think they liked him because, as DeAngelo said, the money wasn't life changing for them.
Yeah.
I think the group knew because sometimes a lot of these they were wanting to they're there for the money. They knew the $1 million has been something a lot in their lives. Will and James said they want to get married with their money and they want to have a wedding and start a life. I think
Tongue in cheek with their
sometimes-
kids.
right?
Yeah.
They knew that these guys already got money, they're good, and I think that's why they kind of did a little backstabbing. But I think the Beard Bros won as well. I love Hung and Cheek.
Yeah.
But
I
we
love
shall
that
see.
Gary got on Twitter last night and tried to dig DeAngelo out of that hole, and DeAngelo just
No,
comes back
he
on.
kept
He's like,
going.
"This is how I feel. I'm sticking
See,
with it."
That's what the Big Ten
I
needs
like
to learn.
that.
The Big Ten needs to be like DeAngelo. You got to hold your ground. Hold your ground. DeAngelo
No
needs
crumbling
to make some
allowed.
phone calls. Make some phone calls. Oh, all right. We still have so much more to get to. We got CJ's Corner, and plus Devin Walker will join us to do some entertainment, pop, and some double tap or not. We'll be right back.